In every city, I always try to find at least one amazing hotel that has tons of personality and style, that's also affordable. I'm Don. I test drive the world's most unique hotels, and after visiting 48 London hotels and paying for 10 stays, I've learned that some of the best stays aren't really hotels at all, and a great hotel doesn't have to cost a fortune. The other house in South Kensington is bold, a little polarizing, and completely different from my other London recs. Today, I'll help you decide if it's right for you. Years ago, I worked in London for 3 months and lived in South Kensington, just a few blocks from here. I've always loved this neighborhood. It's calm, residential, and feels like a real London neighborhood rather than a tourist zone. Hyde Park isn't far. Knightsbridge and Harrods are just down the road, and the area's filled with charming pubs and restaurants. But you're not in the heart of the action, and maybe that's the point, or maybe that's a deal breaker. The other house is made up of 11 restored Victorian townhouses, postcard London facades that kind of define this city's architecture. But I've just noticed these flowers. Fake flowers, that is, around the entrance arch, and I'm wondering if these townhouses really need to be bedazzled. The lobby is a lot to take in. There's a gilded chandelier, velvet cushions, parrots on lamps. It's definitely not boring. I like the modern tiles by the elevators, but the rest, I'm conflicted. So you might have guessed that I'm a bit ambivalent about the decor here. There's a lot to like. It's unique. It's not cookie cutter, and I always give a hotel credit for trying something different. It's got tons of personality, interesting wallpaper, unusual lights, fun elements all over, but it can also run a bit dark in places. A lot of this is going to depend on your personal taste. So here's one of the things that makes this place different. The rooms aren't really rooms. They're more like small apartments with proper sitting areas and fully equipped kitchens. For this stay, I booked the cheapest room and was upgraded to this, but it feels a little dark to me. The decor is moody, which kind of works in the lobby, but in a room where you're trying to relax, I want more light. So I'm going downstairs to ask if there's another option. The receptionist said, sure, here's a new room key, and off I go. But it turns out it's in the basement, which is kind of funny considering my main complaint was that the first room felt a bit dark. But before I even get to the flat, there's this shared courtyard space with a big skylight overhead. It's technically indoors, but it almost feels like an outdoor lounge. It gives the whole area some breathing room, and honestly, it's a nicer vibe than I expected down here. Inside, it's compact, but well thought out. A sitting area, a full kitchen, and I mean a real kitchen where you could actually cook. And a semi-separate bedroom behind the divider. The bathroom's nice enough, the finishes feel more modern, and this one just works better for me. At this price point, with a kitchen that could save you serious money in London, this is a good deal. So here's the other thing that makes this place different. Every guest gets access to a private members club downstairs. Lounges, a bar, a pool, and a spa. The concept is great, but the execution? That's where it gets interesting. There's a warren of ornate rooms, a couple of larger lounges, and smaller nooks to hide out in. It's Victorian inspired and dark. I mean, really dark. You're already in the basement, and then you add in the moody decor, the dim lighting, and the heavy furnishings. I want to love these spaces, but I'm wondering how much I'd actually use them. But then there's this more modern section that's brighter, cleaner, and opens right up to the pool. One thing I didn't expect at this price point is how good the wellness setup is. There's a sleek indoor pool, and beyond the pool there's a steam room, sauna. The other kitchen is the hotel's all-day cafe, open to guests and the public. The space feels almost like a retro diner with all this tile work. Completely different energy from the rest of the hotel, bright, casual, and a nice change of pace. Want your next trip done right without opening 47 browser tabs? Book through the Swank guide for great rates and real perks. The Allen Monkey Bar is small, intimate, and keeps the ornate decor going. It's a fun spot for a pre-dinner drink, and the cocktail menu is pretty nice. Am I still ambivalent about the design? Yes. But what I'm not ambivalent about is the value. A charming neighborhood, a pool, a spa, club spaces, and a kitchen in your room. At this price point in London, I can't think of anything that comes close. My next London hotel used to lock people up. The Nomad is a converted police station, same Victorian DNA as the other house, but the execution is on another level, and shows what happens when every detail is dialed in. Check it out here. Thanks for watching, and see us in the next video. The pillows are quite nice. They get an 8.5. Good night.